Welcome back to the Norse Benchwarmers podcast. I'm your host, Colton Smith, here joined by producer Josh Northcutt, co-host Ben Miller, and director Garrett Jordan in his Xavier Legette jersey. I have no idea where he got that from.
No.
But I do love the 17, the vibes with that jersey. Did he do good this week? I didn't see. I know there's a rough game for the Panthers.
No, he did not do good. I think he had like 2 catches, maybe. So.
Nah. Well, he's a rookie, and that Bears defense is tough. We'll talk about the NFL show, but this is the college football pick show we're here for today. So, how was your Tuesday weekend before we get started?
Michigan lost. Bengals lost. It's October 7th, and all my seasons are over. I hate everything.
That's what basketball season's for.
Carolina, UC, I'm happy again.
Yeah. Basketball brings happiness and joy to Cincinnati fans because all their teams suck at football.
Yep. Overall, my weekend was good, despite the Bengals loss. I mean, Saturday night had work, but got to enjoy some football.
Yeah. Well, this is the part where I just throw it to Garrett and Josh, and I'll see you guys at the picks.
Yeah, I guess I can go ahead and start running down these rankings. A lot of movement in the top 10, top 11 specifically. A lot of people losing, a lot of people winning. Texas jumps back into the first spot. Your top 5 here is Texas, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, and Georgia. So 2 SEC teams, 3 Big Ten teams in your top 5. Miami, after coming back against Cal in that electric finish after midnight, they somehow managed to jump 2 spots, and I think that's just because of all the losses that we had. Alabama falls 6 spots after their shocking defeat in Nashville. Tennessee falls 4 spots after their loss to Arkansas. Woo Pig Suey. Everyone else kind of just moves right on up. Ole Miss, Clemson, Iowa State, Notre Dame all jump up. My LSU Tigers were off this week. Honestly, thank God, because of the way the weekend went, I think we might have lost. So we stood pat at 13, not gaining or losing any spots. BYU jumps up. Texas A&M rounds up your top 15 after their shellacking of Missouri. And speaking of Missouri falling to 21, losing 12 spots. I believe that they are your biggest Oh, no, just kidding.
Screw you, Garrett. Screw you, Garrett. Screw you, Garrett. Screw you, Garrett.
Oh, man.
Screw you, Garrett.
Bad blood. Bad blood.
You predicted the loss, though.
I told you what was going to happen, but we'll get to it. Go ahead, Garrett. Who fell the furthest, Garrett?
All right. Since you brought it up so eloquently, Michigan falls the furthest after suffering a defeat at the hands of my Washington Huskies, dropping from number 10 all the way down to number 24.
He's got like 5 teams. Look, I can't follow it either.
He said before the show that LSU is his one and only team, and then proceeds to say, my Washington Huskies.
LSU and Washington, those are my 2 college teams.
Yeah, by the way, who did you pick in that Washington-Michigan game?
I picked Michigan because I didn't believe in Washington.
We don't have a quarterback. But we might now. We may.
I don't know. Jack Tuttle came in and it didn't look too good. But anyways, I'll finish rounding up this. I'll finish rounding up this top 25. As far as who moves out and who moves into the top 25, SMU moves in, securing that 25th spot after knocking off Louisville. They were my Hail Mary pick of the week. Happy to see that. Pittsburgh won at North Carolina and enters the rankings at number 22, and USC falls out of the rankings.
I sure did.
Yep.
And that's your rankings.
What was USC ranked? They were ranked like 11th, weren't they?
11th, yeah.
And who'd they lose to?
Minnesota.
Minnesota!
Yeah.
Apparently they play football up there. Had no clue.
Yep.
Yeah, they do. they in fact play football up there. But that's honestly a Lincoln Riley-led team. I'm not too shocked on that. So where do we start? I mean,
where do we even start?
I think we all know where we start, right?
We all got to start with number 1, right?
We start in Nashville, right?
Yeah, go ahead, Colton.
All right, so I was at a wedding as this was going on, and I saw that they jumped out to it. So I'll tell you from my perspective. You guys probably can give more detail. But I just happened to look at my phone, and I see Vanderbilt up 14-7. I'm like, that's a little weird. But, it's Alabama. They just had a big game against Georgia. Slow start, whatever. And, I go back, do wedding things, and next thing I know, it's the 4th quarter, and Vandy's still up. And next thing I know, I'm watching the game. Everyone's over there dancing. I'm over here like, what is going on right now? And F-bombs were thrown. Goalposts were taken down. They stormed the streets of Nashville. What'd you say? Wedding parties or?
Oh man, those bachelorette parties had to be
Bachelorette
so
parties.
mad.
We were
just sitting there trying to have a good time, and all of a sudden these college frat boys.
Just stormed. Goalposts thrown in the river. It was chaos. If there was a night I wanted to be in Nashville, it was that night. It looked like pure things of beauty. The police had nothing on those frat boys, and it was. It paid off a good old joke from 7 years ago when that all American linebacker, I forget his name, said we got Alabama next on our schedule. They got us next or whatever. And what Jalen Hurts said, theoretically
we're next on their schedule.
We are next on their schedule.
And then
well,
proceeded to blank them.
When he said that, he was talking about this game right here. So
he just saw the future.
He foresaw.
No one knew he was a fortune teller.
He foresaw the prophecy, and it has been fulfilled.
I saw another meme earlier about this one guy who was at that game completely sitting by himself, looking miserable, just super depressed after Vanderbilt got blanked.
I did see that, yeah.
And it said, "I hope this guy is raging." And I was like, "Yes, that moments like that is what college sports is about,
for sure."
Yeah. You suffer through the bad times to get to the good. Unless you're a Cincinnati fan, now we just suffer nonstop. But Garrett, you got any thoughts on this wonderful game? Which, by the way, Vanderbilt held Alabama, the University of Alabama, to 84 rushing yards.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah, no, Vanderbilt obviously prepped very heavily for this game. They turned Alabama into a one-dimensional offense and said, "Hey, Jalen Milroe, you're going to be the one to beat us. We're going to completely eliminate Jam Miller from the equation, and we're going to make you beat us using your arms and your legs." And unfortunately for Jalen Milroe, the legs really weren't a factor. He had 7 carries, but only ran for 10 yards.
Dang.
He did get a touchdown, but that pocket, being able to break the pocket and scramble for additional yards, that wasn't there. And I think Vanderbilt did a really good job preparing for that. I think another thing to highlight in this game is that Vanderbilt finished this game with a +2 turnover margin, recovering a fumble and intercepting, which I believe the interception was returned for a pick 6, if I'm not mistaken. It was.
Correct.
So yes, Vanderbilt recovered a fumble and had a pick 6. So that those +2 turnovers, if you don't think they were a massive difference in this game, you're completely wrong, because look at that score.
That's fair. If nobody's got any thoughts, I do want to mention another upset that happened this weekend. One kind of special to my heart that I know Colton loves talking about. Woo Pig Suey! 19-14 over Tennessee. I'll take my 7 bonus points. Thank you very much. Taylor Green didn't do exactly what I thought he would do, but boy, oh boy, could Arkansas run the ball and keep Tennessee off the field, while your boy Nico only went 17 of 29 for 158 yards. Kind of a letdown game.
Yep.
And his game, the game plan at the end when they were going for the game-winning drive was very bad. I don't know if it's on him. I don't know if it's on the offensive coordinator. I don't know who that fell on. But just throw the ball in the end zone when you have to score.
Yeah.
Don't run the ball out of the clock. Okay, Andy Dalton. I mean, it just reminded me of Andy Dalton throwing the ball away on 4th down. It's like, just throw the ball in the end zone. It gets picked, you lose, it happens. I know, but it's a young kid trying to make a play. Maybe he hoped to get 1 second left on the clock, but you can't make that mistake. But again, Woo Pig Suey. Say it with me, Colton.
This is why Purdue owns you, Tennessee. It's the one thing I have to cling on. We own you. So we would like those profits that you get from the NIL deal with your tickets. But yeah, how do you say it?
Woo Pig Suey.
Woo Pig Suey.
Woo Pig Suey. Yeah. I feel like one thing to remember is that, and I think a lot of people forgot, Nico is what, a true freshman?
Redshirt.
Still a freshman.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're just going to have games like these as a freshman. He's still got 2, 3 maybe more years as quarterback at Tennessee, and he's going to grow. This is going to be something that sticks with him, and that's what makes the difference of Heisman winning quarterbacks and just average quarterbacks is, do you build yourself off of losses like these, and do you learn from the mistakes like running out of bounds with no time on the clock? Mm-hmm. That's what's going to separate you from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, no. To piggyback off of the Nico talk, this was I just went and looked at it. This was his lowest QBR of any of his starts this year with a 39.5. So yeah, Nico did not have a good game, and when you're looking at this guy as being the future of your franchise playing in the SEC, you have to have him have a good game, because the SEC, as we saw this weekend, the SEC can get you on any given day. So I want to say that it falls partially on the shoulders of Nico, partially on the shoulders of coaching, but yeah, that last play is something that'll definitely haunt him for a while.
The fact that you just like the fact that not to backtrack, sorry, the fact that you're like the SEC can get you every day. If Vanderbilt's now getting teams, yeah, like this is a SEC that I just won't want any part of. Like, who's the worst team in the SEC? And it's like they're probably mid-pack in every other conference, if not the best team in the conference.
It's Mississippi State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mississippi. Okay, okay. They're still really bad.
Yeah, they're still pretty bad.
They're pretty bad.
Dylan Sampson still had a pretty good game though. 22 carries, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. So looks like he's the lone bright spot from this game.
Fair enough. What game we want to go to next there, Garrett?
Oh, let's see. Do you want to talk about the DJU news?
Possibly. Let me confirm that it's for the whole week and it wasn't just a game situation.
All right, I'll keep looking.
Why don't we just go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the Heisman candidate.
Yep.
Ashton Jeanty only played a half. Like Josh said, he was out in the second half, but still got 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He scored 3, I think, in the first quarter.
First quarter, yeah. He at least had 2 in the first quarter. I know that much, but yeah, this dude is on pace for 28 touchdowns and 2,800 yards, right?
Crazy.
That's
crazy.
Just nuts.
It's funny. It's funny that you bring up the Heisman, because I actually wanted to talk about that. I was checking the FanDuel odds, and as of right now, Ashton Jeanty has the best odds to win the Heisman over Travis Hunter, Cameron Ward, and Jalen Milroe.
Nah, you should have just stopped after Travis Hunter.
I will.
There's still a case for Cam Ward.
Okay, if Miami runs the table, I will give you the Cam Ward discussion.
Correct.
But he's not Ashton Jeanty level right now. Jeanty's single-handedly putting that team on his back and gonna probably carry him to a college football playoff appearance.
Oh, without a doubt.
Pending the UNLV game. And then Travis Hunter playing both sides of the ball at the level he plays. That's it. That's the only 2 I want in New York. That's the only 2 I want in New York.
You don't even want anybody else.
I mean, the quarterbacks, they're having great years, but they're not doing what these 2 guys are doing. Like, Ashton Jeanty is on pace. If he played the whole freaking game, that dude would be on pace for like 60 touchdowns and 3,000 yards rushing. I can't put up those numbers in college football. 25.
Ashton Jeanty is playing a video game right now, and everyone else is currently suffering because of it. What he is doing at the running back position is something that we've not seen since the likes of Barry Sanders. I mean, it's incredible what he's doing. Now, granted, there's the caveat, it's a group of 5 school. Doesn't matter, dude.
No.
It doesn't matter. He's through 5 games, he's put up stat totals equivalent to what running backs at Power 5 schools put up through the whole season. What he is doing is incredible, and it needs to be celebrated.
Yeah, and
90 carries.
Every game you play, what do you think the defense's game plan is? You think they just, we'll try and stop the pass or just let Jeanty do his thing? No, they are trying to stop him every game. You're getting the best of the best from each team every game, and he's still just. I have this stat I sent in the group chat from Fox College Football that Jeanty versus the last 3 Heisman running back winners through 5 games. Like I said, he has 1,031, and then 16 rush touchdowns, 95 carries. Derrick Henry was the most recent one at Alabama. At this point, he had 570. That is nearly half of what Jeanty had. 9 rush touchdowns, 93 carries. Mark Ingram, 2009, 487 rush yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, 83 carries to this point in the season. And then Reggie Bush, 2005, the only one on a similar pace, less carries with 71, 601 rush yards, 6 rush touchdowns. He is in a different league. And I understand, those guys, they played better opponents. I don't care. Dude fixes that gap with a 400 rush yard advantage over Reggie Bush in 2005. considered one of the greatest Heisman seasons of all time, if I'm not mistaken.
So Ashton Jeanty just a few weeks ago put up 25 carries, 192 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Guys, that was versus the number 7 at the time Oregon Ducks in Eugene. So don't tell me he couldn't do this versus bigger teams, because he's done it. The man's done it.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys mentioned, though, this guy has been so fun to watch. Like, it would not surprise me to see this dude in the Heisman Heisman race for sure.
He's absolutely in it.
Yeah, I mean, he's arguably the best running back, and
it's not even an argument, dude.
No,
it's not even close.
Yeah,
I don't believe in taking running backs in the first round. I would take this kid. I would take this kid in the first round. This kid is going to be good at no matter what level. And Colton sent me a video of them interviewing him. Fox did, and the story of why he stayed at Boise State. We need more kids like him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is what college football and college sports were built on.
Yeah.
I saw that video and I was like, immediately, the second I get a little extra cash, I am getting me a Jeanty t-shirt or a jersey, whatever have you. Like, I love the mentality. I love the headspace and just the fact that he's a dog. He went into this season with the goal of getting 2,000 yards. He has a bet with his offensive lineman on that goal. And just absolutely nuts. He is my Heisman candidate. I understand the argument for Travis Hunter. I see what Garrett says about Cam Ward. You are not convincing me that Jeanty could miss a couple games, and I would still say he's my Heisman.
for sure.
I can't disagree. I mean, literally, it was funny because me and Garrett played as Boise State because of him, and like we also had Malachi Nelson starting, not Maddox Madison, but.
Malachi Nelson made the start that game?
No, I'm just saying, like, it didn't. I started at Boise State Dynasty, and I started with Nelson because the 5-star nonsense, blah, blah, blah. But it was because I sent the group chat, like, Jeanty is an absolute cheat code. No, he's a cheat code in real life. Like, this is just stupid what this man's doing. I can't wait to see what happens. I really look forward. Like, I wish this kid nothing but the best.
For sure.
Don't go to Baltimore. Don't go to Cleveland. And don't go to Pittsburgh, please. I don't want to not be able to cheer for him at the next level.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to be able to get that Jeanty NFL jersey.
Yes.
For sure.
But Ben, what games did you see from last weekend?
One that caught my eye was Missouri versus Texas A&M, because coming into this,
Caught my eye too.
like, here, let me pull it up real quick. So coming into this game, like, this is obviously going to be Mizzou's biggest test heading into Kyle Field, which is obviously a really tough environment to play in. And like, this is the game we were going to see, like, what kind of team they were offensively and defensively, though, and they did not live up to those expectations, though. I mean, Texas A&M's defense was absolutely unreal. They were challenging Brady Cook, and they just couldn't get anything going on offense. So, and looking at their next few games, though, they got Alabama and Oklahoma. Like, right now, I'm a little concerned about this team because they got a lot to clean up after what we saw in College Station.
Yeah, I'd say they're likely going to end up with 3 losses by the end of that stretch.
For sure, yeah.
But it's the SEC, so who knows?
That's true. One thing I will say about this Missouri game is I watched the beginning of it, and I understand the asterisks and whatever, but when the first drive, you have a pass interference that would have put you in the red zone get completely missed, and everyone agreed it was a pass interference. So there's maybe a field goal, and then the very next drive, you have it, you're down 10-0 at this point, and first play of the drive, dropped pass, little overthrown. Okay, that happens. Very next play, 75-yard touchdown, I believe, and it gets taken back from a holding penalty, which was a holding, but a very ticky-tacky holding call that you get when you're the away team. And how are you not just demoralized after that, you know? Like, you should be tied 10-10 right now, maybe even 14-10 right now. Instead, you're at College Station, playing in Kyle Field, soon to be down 17-0. I don't think they would have won the game regardless, but it could have been a hell of a lot closer if they could have gotten that start. Once you have your game plan, you go in and it's working fine, and then all this outside stuff just messes it up. The defense, though, was atrocious. They will allow it's terrible. I mean, they could not stop a traffic cone. They were a traffic cone, and I know that because I watch a traffic cone play on Sundays too. So and they're literally a traffic cone. They're orange and black. Yeah, so Josh would not appreciate that.
But yeah, that.
I hate everything.
But yeah, that defense was absolutely rough for Mizzou though. But on the A&M offense though, they made some explosive plays. I mean,
Yes.
Connor Wagman, he made some big plays with his legs, and he was able to connect with his receivers downfield. And Le'Veon Moss was absolutely unreal. I mean, that run game, he was a dog. He was an absolute dog, and he was a lot of fun to watch for sure.
All right, Garrett,
Absolutely.
go ahead and talk a few more of your games because we know you got a list over there.
I just have a couple more that I want to highlight. I do want to make sure we talk about the two teams in Florida, Florida State and Florida. Florida getting the victory 24-13 over UCF. A must-win game for Billy Napier. Probably just kicked the can down the road a bit, in my opinion. I don't think UCF played very well in this game, which is kind of shocking because Florida doesn't play well either. So I think this was just a battle between two very middling Florida teams. As far as Florida State goes, losing to Clemson, I think at this point in the season, based on history, we all kind of expected that to happen. However, DJU did not make the start because of an injury. I'm not exactly sure what the injury was, but
So, yeah, it is a injury to his throwing hand, expected to miss several weeks and
Okay.
most likely the rest of the season.
Oh, man.
Basically has already been told also that his medical hardship would not be accepted because how many games he has already played this year.
Right.
So it is likely that
His
we
last
never see
season.
DJU on a football field again.
Ben, I got to be curious why you're manning that, because DJU has been awful for Florida State. Not saying Brock Glenn did too much better, but he at least looked a little bit more competent.
I mean, you're going to look a little more competent because the other team isn't prepared for you. That's just like a normal backup thing.
That's
So,
true. That's true. Yeah. All
I
right.
mean, Andy Dalton, that first game, they weren't prepared for him and absolutely killed the Raiders. Well, next 2 weeks, he has just looked like Andy Dalton.
Yep.
This is true. This last game, there's one
Sorry,
more game I want to get
Josh
into.
again.
Keep taking stabs.
This last game I want to get into, and Josh, I know that me and you could talk about this for probably 30 minutes. West Virginia and Oklahoma State. West Virginia put 38
What
points
did I
up
do to you guys?
on what?
Why are we just attacking my team?
We're not attacking your teams.
I thought Michigan was your one and only team.
They are. Well, the Bearcats
Oh.
also, but I was high on Oklahoma State.
than one team? What?
All right, Gary, you have like 5 teams. Shut up.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Garrett. Go ahead. Keep
Anyways, okay, yes. So West Virginia gets the victory 38-14 over Oklahoma State in Stillwater. Alan Bowman was benched in the third quarter after throwing 2 picks for Garrett Rangel, who came in and went 4 for 5 with 75 yards. Ollie Gordon, 13 carries, 50 yards. Is there a meltdown, like a nuclear meltdown happening in Stillwater right now? Mike Gundy, what is going on? You have one of the best talent players, and he is consistently getting 50 yards
Exactly,
on average.
yeah.
What is happening in Stillwater?
So remember how I say I give credit to Ashton Jeanty for doing everything and staying loyal to the brand, staying loyal to Boise State. Ollie Gordon should sit out the rest of the year and not waste his health and should be just counting the days and counting the dollars till he gets to the NFL. This kid has no business only getting 13 touches in a game. I didn't know Zach Taylor was calling. No, okay, that's too far. Anyway, go ahead,
It's
Garrett.
not NFL time yet.
I mean that was it for me. That was the last game that kind of jumped out to me. It's just like Oklahoma State. What is we doing, baby? Like,
Baby.
I mean, this was a team that was ranked in the top 15 preseason. I mean, they were one of the Big 12 favorites with Ollie Gordon in that backfield. So I don't have an answer. I don't know what's going on. They're 0-3 in the Big 12 conference.
0-3, and they returned 19 starters from last year's team.
It's just,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. This
It
collapse.
does not. No.
So Gundy basically runs Oklahoma State. Like that has been his organization or his program for probably longer than most of us.
Other than Kirk Ferentz and Kyle Whittingham, he's the most tenured coach at one program in the FBS.
So saying all that, does a hot seat have to be going there because how good this team was expected, or is it one of those things where Gundy still gets another year or two?
I think he's got another year or two.
I think he's probably got another year.
For sure.
just off of seniority.
And then I don't want to move just past one other game if I can go ahead and talk about it. But another game I kind of threw out there: UL Monroe upsetting JMU and winning their second conference game. Gentlemen, Vegas odds had them at 1.5 wins to begin the year. I would know that because that's the reason I picked them in my Fun Belt College Football 25 game. They were by far rated the worst team in college football, and they came out and they upset JMU after JMU put, 70 on North Carolina? They held JMU to 19 points.
Wow.
Warhawks, baby. Keep it going. They're going to upset everybody, win the Fun Belt, and it's going to be beautiful.
Wow. I mean,
Make
what a
them
turnaround.
the 12 seed in the college football playoff. You
You
want committee?
You don't want that. You don't want that.
No.
You don't want this smoke? You're scared? Oh, man. Seeing UL Monroe get ranked might...
Oh, man.
I
Can you
would lose
imagine?
my mind.
Can you imagine?
No one will hear the end of it. I will
Yeah.
just be. It's because of me. It's all because of me. I started cheering for them and they start winning games. It's all because of me. I'm the good luck charm. But I will go ahead and run down our pick six picks results of the games from this week very quickly. Syracuse came up with a 44-41 win in overtime over number 25 UNLV. Kyle McCord did exactly what we all predicted. 40 of 63, 355 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 INT. Throwing the ball 63 times in a game is a lot.
Wow.
Washington, beat Michigan 27-17. Michigan may have found their quarterback a little too late. Jack Tuttle came in, replacing Alex Orji, 10 of 18, 98 yards. 1 touchdown, however, a crucial interception and fumble. Washington held Mullings to 49 yards rushing. Texas A&M whipped up on Missouri, as we mentioned, 41-10, led at 1 point 34-0. Ole Miss rebounded 27-3. Lane Train continues as a beat South Carolina. Navy took down the Air Force 34-7. SMU comes in clutch for Garrett with a 34-27 win.
Let's go.
4 points for him there. Boston College disappointed with Ben.
Yep.
24-14 loss to UVA. Nebraska's defense is very good. 14-7 over Rutgers. Sorry, Colton. And woo, Pig Suey, as mentioned earlier. Arkansas 19, Tennessee 14. Josh gains another 7 points. So go ahead, Colton. Can you give us the standings?
So Josh leads. I don't lead. Garrett's in second. No, okay. So at the bottom is myself with 17 and 13 record on the year, 22 points. Ben is in third with 6. He's fallen to 30. We're in second there for the longest time, but fortunately Garrett got the underdog pick. 16 and 14 though for Ben, 24 points on the year. Garrett jumps up after a good 4-2 week. He jumps up to 26 with the 4 bonus points from his Hail Mary. And then firstly, Josh, 21 and 9, 46 points. It's just a race for second at this point. And I've gotten to the point I'm going to find the highest spread that I think could possibly happen. And it's just going, we'll see if it sticks. We'll see if it sticks, fellas. Just wait till you see what I have cooked up for this week.
Oh, gosh. Oh, no.
All right, well.
All right, is it that time to get there?
I think it's time to get into it.
All right, let's get right to it, starting with the Friday game. This is the October 12th that we have been hyping up for the longest time. We did talk about it before the show. It lost a little bit in some matchups, but it's still going to be an outstanding day of football. And we will get a pretty good October 19th slate next week, so I'll be excited for that. But starting with Friday, though, at 10:30 p.m. on ESPN, the number 16 Utah Utes will be traveling to Tempe, Arizona to face off against the Arizona State Sun Devils. 2 4-1 teams playing on Friday night. What do you guys think?
Utah is not Wyoming, Mississippi State, Texas State, or Kansas.
Okay.
Utah big.
All right. Yeah, I'm taking the Utes as well. I mean, in their last game against Arizona, it was shocking to see them give up over 300 yards of defense because they're obviously known for their defense, and they've been really good on offense. Isaac Wilson's done a great job filling in for Cam Rising, and Arizona State, they've been another great offensive team. So I feel like Utah's defense will regroup, and they'll pull out the win. Give me the Utes.
Yeah, there's a part of me that feels like I should try and go a different route here, but there's also just like you just got to get points on the board. You got to see the ball go through the hoop. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take Utah here. But Garrett, what do you got?
Yeah, so is anyone aware of the history of Friday night games this past season?
They've been
because
electric.
Usually they've been pretty high scoring. I believe a few of them have gone into overtime. I honestly don't expect this game to be any different at all.
Really?
I understand that Arizona State has a freshman quarterback starting, which is always risky when playing a ranked team, but you're playing at home, so there's a little bit of a security blanket there. And he also has an escape route in Arizona State's halfback Cam Scatabo, who already has 619 yards on the season this year. So that he has an escape outlet for when he can't find anybody downfield. That being said, I think with what Josh said about the competition that Arizona State has faced up to this point, I think Utah wins this game, but I think it'll be closer than people think, and also it's Friday night, so who knows what the hell's going to happen. Maybe Arizona State pulls it out, but my gut's telling me Utah gets the win here.
Yeah, I like your point. It's just the fact they had a really close game with Mississippi State, if I remember. That Mississippi State game was close, and we see how they are, so... Yeah. That was the main basis off of that, but you never know. That running back is good. I've played with him in college football before, so I know these things.
Arizona State's loss was to Texas Tech, not Mississippi State.
I didn't say. I just said they let Mississippi
close.
State have a close game.
I thought you were implying they lost. No, my bad.
Incorrect. So the next up, we skipping the noon games. We're going straight to 3:30 on ABC for the Red River. You spelled rivalry.
Yep, I sure did. Yeah, sure
Red
did.
River rivalry.
First of all, it's the Red River Shootout, and I will never
Shootout.
change my name.
Yep.
Your name.
Their name. What? Leave me alone.
Wait a minute. All right. So number 1, Texas Longhorns. Are they at home or they're at a neutral site?
Neutral
site.
site.
Number 18, Oklahoma, and I've been very indifferent to this Oklahoma team, feeling like they are just a college football team that exists. Give me the Longhorns.
Yeah, I'm not going to take a true freshman going into this game. I'm going to go with the Longhorns and Quinn Ewers coming back and having a legendary game. I hate you so much right now.
The jokes write themselves.
For myself, I'm going with Texas. I mean, they've been a great offense all year, and it'll be interesting to see how Arch Manning will do. I feel like this is going to be his big
Quinn Ewers is back.
I was going to say,
Yeah, Quinn Ewers is
back.
officially back.
Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Quinn Ewers will bounce back after being injured the last couple of weeks. But I am a little concerned for Oklahoma's offense because they just haven't been living up to expectations, though. But however, they do have a nasty defense. So, but overall, though, I feel like Texas's offense is going to be the difference.
Yeah, with Red River every year, we always expect an absolute blast of a college football game to watch, and unfortunately, I just don't think that's going to be the case this year. I think Texas is head over heels the better team than Oklahoma, and with the quarterback questions that Oklahoma is having, unless I don't know, Josh, can you tell me have they officially benched Jackson Arnold for Michael Hawkins?
Yes.
So Michael Hawkins is the starting quarterback.
Yeah, that's
from
why I
here
said
on out.
I'm not taking the true freshman.
I don't know if I want a true freshman making. Is it his first start?
No, he started last game versus Auburn.
Last week. Okay, yeah. So making his second start against the number 1 ranked team in the country in the Red River Shootout. So give me Texas here.
Yeah, that's just a tough way to start it out, and I just think Oklahoma just very indifferent team for me, and Texas has looked like the best. So we'll be excited to see that because it's always a great game. It's not always. I can remember a not as great game.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of historic games.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
and it's
absolutely.
college football.
Yeah, I was about to point out a lot of defining moments in that game for sure.
Moving on down to number 2, two Big Ten schools, which is weird to say. Number 2, Ohio State. They are traveling to Eugene to face off against the Oregon Ducks, number 3 in the country. One of these two teams has to lose. It'll be 7:30 p.m. on NBC, not ABC. And give me the Ducks. They are my championship pick, and I think they have honestly gotten better each and every week. This is where the true test lies. We've said it throughout the season. This is where we find out which one of these teams is competing for a championship. I mean, they might both still end up doing it, but Oregon, this is a huge test for them. This could be their welcome to the Big Ten moment. I don't think so. Give me the Ducks.
Yeah, I'm going with the Oregon Ducks as well. I feel like that defense will slow the run game down. They will pressure Will Howard. I'm sorry. The secondary can compete with the wide receivers, so I feel like that defense is going to be the difference maker. And Oregon has been showing their potential the last couple of weeks. They've definitely improved, so I got the Ducks.
Go ahead, Garrett.
Dude, I have no idea. This is far and away the best game of the college football season so far. These are two very high-powered offenses going in to face each other. I mean, the cast list for both of these teams. I mean, Dylan Gabriel, Will Howard, Quinshon Judkins. The list goes on and on. Egbuka. The talents on both of these teams are incredible. Ohio State's offense has looked a little bit more consistent and a little bit more high-powered, but they are playing in Autzen. I have no idea, honestly. This is literally just me throwing a piece of cheese at the wall and seeing which team it sticks to. And for me, I'm gonna have to throw that piece of cheese at Ohio State. This is literally just I don't know, pick, because I'm just hoping for a good game. That's all I want.
You heard two Oregon picks, so you might as well go against the grain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, might as well even out the graphic.
And that's Josh just gave me the I can't wait to hear the Michigan fan arguing the Ohio State.
I'm also gonna take the Buckeyes, and the reason why is, as everybody here has mentioned, Howard and wow, why can't I not think of Oregon?
Gabriel.
Thank you, Gabriel, are basically the same guy. Like, they are very similar. Transfers, experience in big games. But the difference for me when I started looking things up, and it wasn't just because of this, I was hoping all three of y'all would pick the same team, and I'd be solo on this one. Ohio State's defense, I think, is better than Oregon's. Ohio State's defense is going to be able to pressure Gabriel to cause mistakes that he's been known to make in times, and especially in big games. So I like Ohio State, also known as Ohio in most parts of Michigan. But yeah, no, I like the Buckeyes, unfortunately, and I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, you and me both. Moving on down, that's just the third one on the slate here. We have now the fourth, number 9, Ole Miss, traveling down to Baton Rouge. Number 13, LSU. 7:30 as well, so we'll have to be keeping an eye on both games there, because I have a feeling both of those are just going to be absolute shootouts. This one will be an absolute shootout, and I'm excited to see. 7:30, like I said, on ABC. Garrett, do you want to start or do you want to finish here?
I'll start, and I'll make it simple. This is Death Valley on a Saturday night. Give me the Tigers.
Yeah, I'll make it even more simpler. Lane Train ain't scared. Lane Train, Ole Miss, baby. Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
All right, my ears are in very much pain after that. I'm going to side with Garrett here, though, and I hate that because anytime I've sided with Garrett with LSU, or anything LSU related this year has gone terrible for me. I don't trust Ole Miss's defense. I don't trust LSU's defense. Okay, let's look at the offense now. Ole Miss looks a little one-dimensional to me from what I've seen, at least what I saw against Kentucky, and I think there's more if they can use the running game a little bit, if they don't, shoot themselves in the foot there. I feel like they have the better wide receivers. I think Nussmeier seems to be getting better each and every game. Tell me if I'm wrong, Garrett. Also, the home field advantage, Death Valley. Give me the Tigers in this one.
I'm actually going with Ole Miss. I feel like that offense is going to show up, and
good pick,
which
man.
is our
good pick.
Okay, thanks. But but yeah, this offense has been arguably one of the best in the SEC, and I feel like that defense is going to shine. So I'm riding with the Rebels.
All right. I love this. I love the division here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of 2v2s. We're not all just going the same way like we do for NFL. So I like it. Here in the last one that we will be choosing from starts at 10:15 on ESPN. It is number 18, Kansas State, going up to Boulder to face the Colorado Buffaloes. Prime time, ESPN. Give me the Buffaloes.
There you go.
And I know I've said they are the most overrated team throughout the season. However, the vibes are there for me. And there I go again with the vibes. It's not going to end well. But give me the more talented quarterback. Give me the better wide receiver. I know Kansas State defense can lock in, but I don't see them stopping Travis Hunter or Shadur Sanders. Why does it feel so weird to say Shadur? Shadur. But yeah, give me the Buffs here to probably become ranked after this week.
For myself, I'm going with the Buffs as well. I feel like this offense is going to show up big, especially the passing game. I feel like that's going to be a big factor. I mean, Sador Sanders and Travis Hunter, they've arguably been the best QB wide receiver duo, and I feel like that's going to show up against a poor Kansas State secondary. So give me the Buffs.
That's true.
Y'all have been bashing them like
Yeah,
crazy,
I know.
and
Yeah.
now you're just picking them to win. I'm also
Things
taking
are
the
different.
I'm also taking the Buffs at home.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, I think to save the graphic, I think I'm gonna go Kansas State here.
Okay.
I still believe in this Kansas State team. I think Avery Johnson is a talent, and I think Kansas State is looking at this game, coming into this game, licking their chops, seeing probably the most popular team put out on a dinner plate in front of them. I think they're going to come into Boulder, and I think they're going to be looking for that win. I think Avery Johnson and DJ Giddens will both have big games. I have Kansas State winning here in an upset. I don't even know if
It's not an upset. No.
I mean, they're ranked 18th, so definitely not.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not considered an upset. But I mean, the national media makes you think it would be an upset
Right,
just
of
because of how
course.
much they talk about Colorado. But give me the Cats here.
No, I agree with your sentiment there on Kansas State. Like, I'm definitely not out on Kansas State, but just looking at this game, I can't, just hold in, what I have. I mean, Alabama lost to Vanderbilt, and I would have never dreamed that. So I can't really just sit here and be like, oh, I like Kansas State better in the long term. I just think the situation lines itself up for a Colorado upset here, and that's where I'm headed. But now, speaking of upsets, it's time for us to pick our Hail Mary picks. I think I'll save mine for last, so who would like to start?
I'll start off first. I'm going with Washington over Iowa. I feel like that Husky defense is going to show up, and Denzel Boston and Guile Jackson will take advantage of a struggling Iowa secondary. So give me the Huskies over the Hawkeyes.
Go ahead, Garrett.
Oh, I get to go? Oh, dang it. All right. Well, since we are so far behind Josh, I'm going to have to go for points here. My Hail Mary pick this week is going to be the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets at the North Carolina Tar Heels. Georgia Tech is favored by 6 in this game, but UNC, coming off a loss to Pitt, I think are going to want to avenge that loss. In Georgia Tech, we saw them lose to Syracuse early on the road. I think the same thing. I think history repeats itself here. Omarion Hampton probably runs for 8,000 yards, and North Carolina gets the win over Georgia Tech.
Okay.
As a
right.
Carolina fan, I can tell you that's not going to happen. They're so bad.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, just stay over there, Garrett. No,
All right.
no redos this time.
Okay. All right.
I'll let you go last, since I
sure?
get the sense you want to go
Okay.
last. I'm looking at a particular team that has gone through something that not many other schools have this year, and that is Hurricane Helene. And I'm looking at the App State Mountaineers as they're fighting for something, right? They're going up against Louisiana this week. I believe they're 10.5, favored at 10.5 to Louisiana, and that's a tough team. Don't get me wrong, but I think App State, they're fighting for something more. They're fighting for the people back home and the destruction that has been there, and I hope nothing for the best for all the people that have gone through that. But I think App State playing for something more. Nothing brings people together like football, and bringing a win home to Boone would be amazing, and that is my pick of this week. Hail Mary pick for this week.
All right.
First off, way to turn that sentimental and make me not cheer against you. That was bull crap, but nicely done. So I was going for 3 different options, and my options were actually 4, I guess. Purdue at Illinois, just to stab him, because if Purdue were to win and I got points out of it, he will hate himself on Saturday because he'll never hear the end of it.
I would never show up to another episode. I'd just be
Yeah.
like, this is it.
I was thinking Florida over Tennessee, playing for your coach, playing for your job, but Tennessee coming off a loss, I don't see that happen. I debated Vandy versus Kentucky to get a stab at him.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I
You
thought
want to
of
go
that
there?
one, too.
And then also, I mean, Vandy riding high. We've seen it before. Ride high, letdown game, blah, blah, blah. So, but I'm a man of my word. I told Colton I was making this pick a week ago, and I'm going to do it now. 1-4 Ball State versus 0-5 Kent State. I'm taking Kent State at home to beat Ball State. Finally get a win for the first time in like a year and a half.
Okay.
And that's what is going to happen. Golden Flash is not to let me down like I let them down as a coach in college football 20-5 every time I play Colton.
About to tonight, too.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. But that is our picks for this week. Is there anything you guys want to talk about before we wrap up the show?
Actually, there was one thing I wanted to talk about that I didn't get to hit early. Did anybody see the hit that Grayson McCall took in their game against Wake Forest?
Very scary.
Yeah, that was. If you didn't see it, I can describe it really quickly. But Grayson McCall escaped the pocket on a scramble and ran upfield to get the first down. But when he was in the process of being tackled, he was sandwiched by two guys. His helmet popped off, and then a third guy came in with the crown of the helmet and hit Grayson McCall on his bare head. Like with the crown of his helmet, like
God.
quintessential targeting call on a player without a helmet. McCall was carted off the field, and we have no word on his status right now. So
he actually got released from the hospital Saturday night.
Okay, that's good.
He apparently is very well off. Blah blah blah. But he's also had a lot of histories with injuries.
Yeah.
This might be one of those times where, Grayson, it might be time to hang it up. You're a great college football player. You did great things at Coastal Carolina, but it might be time to move on to whatever's next.
That was
insurance.
That was a scary hit for sure. I'm glad to hear that he's out of the hospital, but he has a lot of things to think about right now. Kind of like Tua.
Yeah. I don't watch the NFL, but like while we're on the topic, have you heard anything about Tua? Or is that
Tua will be back week 8.
Week 8.
Tua will be back week 8.
Wow. They desperately need him.
Yeah, we'll talk about that very soon.
We'll talk about that NFL. I was just curious while we were on the topic, but
we did forget one thing. Everything was kind of all over the place. There is only 12 undefeated teams remaining.
Yes.
Very quickly, I will do that rundown. Pitt, Iowa State, BYU, Miami, Indiana, Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, Liberty, and did I mention Indiana?
Y'all beat Northwestern and act like that's your Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying.
But they just put up another 40 though. Man, this team can score.
No, they can score.
I was about to point out
they're a tough team.
I was about to point out that offense is absolutely elite. I cannot wait until they play Ohio State, to be honest with you.
You and me both. That'll be a nice Hail Mary week for sure.
No,
I hate to tell you, buddy, but Indiana's winning the bucket this year.
Yeah. Oh, duh. Thanks. Thank you, Ben. Insightful words from Ben Miller.
Oh, and I forgot to. I apologize. How dare I? I forgot about the academies. Army and Navy also undefeated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Rank them. Come on. What are we doing?
Sure.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Rank them. If freaking NIU can be ranked after beating Notre Dame, like.
Yeah.
Anywho. Is that all we have?
Yeah,
fellas?
that's all we got.
All right. Yeah, that list is getting shorter and shorter, and I expect it to get even shorter as we get into Big Ten play. So, yeah, thank you all for listening. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. We're getting close to that 50 subscriber goal, and thank you guys for coming on to the show. Be sure to follow us on Twitter as well at NorseBWPod. Thank you, Garrett, for all the hard work you do in the director's chair, doing God's work over there. Thank you. NKU Media Services and Bill. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.